Hi, I'm Julie McCluskie, Director of Communications and Community Engagement for Summit School District. And I'm here today with our Summit School District Spotlight and our very special guest, Superintendent Kerry Buhler. We're going to be talking a little bit about how the school district is doing so far for this school year and what some of our plans are for the future. So Kerry, let's start with, it is February. We have been rocking and rolling in classrooms now for months. How are things going as the new superintendent for Summit School District?
Well, really I couldn't be more pleased. We've gotten off to a great start to the school year. Certainly it's gone very quickly. Lots of really engaged students, excellent staff. In the fall we were able to get the support of our wonderful community and voters and passed a large bond and mill levy, and now we are in the process of moving forward on those plans to further support our kids, our teachers, and our community.
I'm excited. I think as we've started to see that work unfold, we've started to meet with parents and staff, even students who want to say in what the design of our new high school will look like, our new middle school, and I should say expansions. We're not getting brand new schools, just we're adding on and adding classrooms because something has happened in Summit School District the last few years. We've got more kids.
Yes, it's fabulous. We have more kids. So what we did through a couple of years ago, we started Vision 2020. We really took a look at where do we want to be in the next 5 years? What do we want our schools to be like, to look like, to sound like, to fulfill really our promise to our students. And through Vision 2020, we also then started a master planning process, which has been, took a better part of a year, and what it really brought to light was that we have lots of kids, and we have lots of kids in our elementaries moving to the middle school kids moving to the high school, and but lo and behold, we found out that our middle and high schools really do not have space for them. And so luckily enough, we discovered that through this great process, and now we are in the process of really making that come to life, of course through the support of our voters.
What is exciting about our master facilities planning process is that we are moving into phase 2. Phase 1 was really identifying the critical needs and deficiencies in our schools, and because of that student enrollment growth, where we needed to expand and add additional classrooms. Now we're at the point of asking harder and deeper questions with members of our community. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that, Kerry, and what that process has been like and what our hopes are for where we will land here in the next 3 to 6 months.
Yes. So we have 2 groups going. We're calling them advisor groups, the North End and the South End advisor groups. And really these are a really nice mix of people. We have teachers and we have community members and we have county employees and town employees and what did I forget?
Folks from the human services sectors, parents, students.
Yes.
We've been able to involve a lot of different stakeholders.
And really from every section of our district, from the north to the south. And really what we're taking a look at now in phase 2 is where are we with our elementary buildings in terms of what are their capacities, how many kids do we have coming into kindergarten and flowing through our system. Additionally, we're taking a look at our programming. Are we fulfilling really our mission of making sure that kids have everything they need to be successful? And then additionally, we're looking at our land. One thing that came out of the master plan was that we do have some land that belongs to the school district, and we really need to evaluate whether or not we are going to need that land for future schools. And so it's been a really collaborative process. One thing that's been really good about it is that we didn't really go in with any notions about what we should do. We really started to say, you know what? We need to ask other people, what should we consider? What should we think about? What should we make sure we're asking ourselves, asking others, collaborating with others around so that we make the best decisions for the future? It
has been, I think we're into month 5 of this process, and it has been, I think one of the things we've learned is how challenging and complex these issues are. When you start to talk about growth at the elementary school level, and in our community in particular, there's a lot of future housing development going on. We don't know exactly where our kids are going to be coming from, what neighborhoods, or even what towns, where exactly in the county we will see the most growth. We also, in talking with community members about Vision 2020, And you talked about programming. When we talk about that, what does that mean exactly? What is Vision 2020 programming, and how does that impact what we do with growth?
Well, what we're really looking at is really our 3 pillars of our Vision 2020. Looking at how are we making sure that we're meeting kids right where they are and giving them every opportunity to reach the greatest heights. The middle pillar is all about blended learning in technology and STEM and all those innovations that we know that our kids are ripe for, and these futures that we don't even know what they're going to look like for our kids.
Right.
And then really that third pillar is about really that caring learner piece. It's really that piece of making sure that we're meeting the social and emotional and behavioral needs of our students. And so all of those pieces really have to go into our minds to think about what's the best programming. What do our schools need to look like for the kids today and the kids of the future?
So I'm really glad you hit on the 21st century learning skills.
Yes.
Certainly our One to World initiative, which includes making sure that every child has access to the world around them through technology, instructional technology. And we're looking at some redesign in buildings with those thoughts in mind.
Yes.
We're also talking about things like dual language, how we, at our Dillon Valley Elementary School, how students are learning in 2 different languages, their core content, their academic curriculum, and is that a program? We've seen great success. Is that a program we need to look at bringing elsewhere? What do you anticipate to be the outcomes for this process, Kerry, and what will be the next steps for our community?
Well, you know, what was kind of a fresh idea going into this process really was that we weren't determining the outcome when we started, which is different for educators. They usually want to know what the end is, and then we work backwards. But we're really working into the future. So at this point, really, we are going to take all of those considerations that the community has brought forth, that our partners have talked about, our teachers, our parents, our kids, and really bring those forth to our facilities committee, our master planning group, and really talk about this is what we know so far. Do we need more information? Do we need to get more information from our community, from our parents? And then really decide, you know, take some ideas, take some considerations to the school board, and really determine those next steps. What we know is that right now we have a little bit of time, but we also know that making those decisions at the right time are going to be important to us, so we don't want to leave anything to chance.
That's great. I do think this process has been inclusive and thoughtful, and your point about time is good. I think the latest projections, after looking at this year's student enrollment, is that we have about 5 or 6 years before our elementary schools will reach capacity. So while we have started this process now, it certainly does give us a window of time before we would need to build a new school or even prepare a school for additional students.
Exactly.
Great.
Yes.
Is there anything else going on in the school district that you want to highlight, Kerry? I think I did just hear we hit the 100-day mark.
We hit the 100th day yesterday.
That is so
was the 100th
exciting.
day of school.
Wow.
And I saw lots of celebrations. I saw kids bringing collections of 100 items. I saw kids counting what they would do with $100 million. I think it used to be $100. Now it's $100 million. And many of them wanted to redesign their media centers.
You're kidding.
So I think the perfect thing is the kids are going to donate to all the wonderful new media centers that we have in all of our buildings.
Oh, we've got good kids.
We do.
Well, thank you. Great.
You're welcome.
Great update for the day, and certainly we invite our community to join in this conversation with us. Visit our website at summitk12.org. You can learn about our master facilities planning process, the construction projects that are just beginning, as well as the work of our North and South End advisory committees. If you have any questions, give us a call. Both Kerry and I are sitting around, not doing much. And
Call anytime.
Yeah, we'd love to have a conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.